Welcome back to part 2. So, as you can tell from number 10 here, these aren't that bad to do. We're just going to follow a little bit of algebra. I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides, of course. That gives me 6 to the x equals 37. Now, again, I can't write 37 in terms of 6, but I know x has to be between 2 and 3. Probably closer to 2 because 6 squared is 36. But since I can't solve this one, I have to use my inverse operation. Now, because this is an exponent, we're going to take the log of both sides because that's its inverse. I get the natural log of 6 to the x equals the natural log of 37. What you do to one side, you got to do to the other. Brings down our x, we get the natural log of 6 equals the natural log of 37. And then I'm going to divide. I get the natural log of 37 over the natural log of 6. Now, if you notice, this should look a little familiar. This is our change of base formula. That's right. We're just changing the base. In other words, we're kind of cheating. We're kind of writing these in terms of the same base of each other to solve it. All right, so when I write this, type this in my calculator. If you don't know what the natural log button is, it's right by the 4. So it's the natural log of, 37 divided by the natural log of 6, ln 6. And I get 2.015. And there's my answer, 2.015. All right, try number 12 on your own. Okay, be careful. You got that negative 4x right there. That will cause a little bit of trouble. But let's take a look at number 13 here, because people look at this and say, McGurse, I don't know how to do this one. It's a hard one. So, solve it just like normal. Subtract the 13. So I'm going to use a calculator because I'm old. My brain's a little rusty. Not minus 1, minus 13. Very good, 28. So we get 8 times 4 to the 6 minus 2x equals 28. Divide by the 8, and we get 4, 6 to the minus 2x equals 4. Wow, this one's really not all that bad, is it? And I know what you're thinking. Wait, 28 divided by 4 I'm way off. That's 3.5. That's embarrassing. There we go. That's 3.5. Okay. Sorry about that. Old age, I told you. Now, since I can't write 4 and 3.5 in the same base of each other, I'm going to use my natural logs. Because what natural logs do is they allow me to bring down this power. Put that in parentheses, natural log of 4 equals the natural log of 3.5. Divide, I get 6 minus 2x equals the natural log of 3.5 divided by the natural log of 4. And you can almost solve this one in your head. Okay, kind of running out of room here. Let's go up here. So I ran out of room. So we get 6 minus 2x equals, I'm going to type that in my calculator, the natural log of 3.5 divided by the natural log of 4. And that's 0.904. And I'm just going to solve. Okay? Be careful, take that 0.904 minus 6, and I'm going to divide that by negative 2. You can do this in the calculator. And we get 2.548. Very good. All right. Now, for number 4, we've already done these on the other side, but now we're just going to go ahead and get how to get the answer with the calculator. Again, I have a domain restriction. Don't forget that. X is greater than 0. That's easy. This becomes e squared equals x. So there's my answer. But what exactly is that? Well, what is e squared? Well, I can do like 2.71 squared. That's just like approximation. But your calculator doesn't have an e button. Right, with the natural log. Second natural log, there's your E button. Just type in the 2, hit enter, and it becomes 7.389. And that'll work with a lot of these, like number 15 here. Now be careful, number 15, this is our common log. It's base 10. But the same rule, this 3x must be greater than 0, which is simple, x is greater than 0. So when I solve it, I get 10 squared equals 3x. Now, hopefully I don't need a calculator for this one, because what's 10 squared? That's right, 100, and that's going to equal 3x. So x is just 100 over 3. Now, if you need to, that's just 33 and a third, right? There we go. Very easy to do that one. Now remember, our number system is based on 10, and that's why we like log. What they do is take a look here. We just made 10 the number 2. Log of 10 is 1. Log of 100 is 2. Why we like logs is they make numbers more manageable, and we use these all the time. You see these when they measure earthquake, when they talk about like a magnitude 5 earthquake. How many times greater is that than a magnitude 3 earthquake? You know, when we do this with decibels, if you're listening to music at 90 decibels, you know, these are logarithmic scales, your pH scale in chemistry. Okay, so we tend to use logarithms all the time because they make numbers smaller. All right, so if we try this one right here, let's try number 16 here. Again, I do have a domain restriction, the square root of x minus 8 greater than 0. So basically, x is greater than 8 here. Solving it, this becomes 10. This is 10 to the 5th. See, whoops, ooh, that's embarrassing because that's base e. I know what you're saying, Mr. Werner, that's base e. Yeah, that's e to the 5th equals the square root of x minus 8. So I solve it. Well, what's e to the 5th? Well, let's go ahead and square everything first. Makes it a little bit more accurate. E to the 10th equals x minus 8. So x equals e to the 10th plus 8. It's always good to actually have this out before you answer. As a matter of fact, I want you to have this out first before you type it in your calculator. Because if you mess up somewhere, you can at least get points for this. E to the 8, e to the 10th, that's embarrassing, plus 8. And we get, wow, 22,034.466. There we go, big number. 22,034.466. Very good. All right, so let's take a look at number 7 here. Easy breezy. Bring over the 2. Negative 6. Natural log of x equals 8. Whoops, my domain restriction. Right? X greater than 0. Divide by the negative 6. Natural log of x equals negative 8 over 6. I'm going to be using a calculator, so I'm not even going to reduce that. So we get e to the negative 8 over 6 equals x. That's just type that in your calculator. E to the negative 8 over 6. And I get 0.264. And there we have it. All right, now number 18, I'm sorry. Let's get our domain restriction here. This one says x is greater than 0, x is greater than negative 3. But again, 0 is already bigger than negative 3, so that's the one we pick. Simplify it. We're going to multiply them together. This is the natural log of x times x plus 3 equals 1. Now, be careful. This is not my shortcut like on the last one because I don't have a natural log on the other side, like number 9 that we did. We do have to exponentiate. We get e to the first. We're going to have to use our inverse property. Equals, and I can just expand this, x squared plus 3x. Wow. How to answer this one? Well, I can't factor it. So how do I answer this one? I'm going to graph it. Graph and find the roots. So if I go to y equals on my calculator, I'm going to go x squared plus 3x minus e to the first. Zoom 6. Graph it. There we go. Now, my domain restriction says it has to be greater than 0. So do I want this one over here? No, why not? That's less than 0. So I only want this one. Second calc, 0. Oops. See, root is another word for 0. Okay? See, tell your parents, I didn't get a 0 on the test. I got a root. That's funny. All right, so left bound, 0 is fine. Looks like about 2 is built. So hit enter, and I get about 0.729. Do this one again and again and again and again and again, okay? Because you want to know how to use the calculator. All right, let's do one more together, and then we're done. So, well, I got that one. Domain restrictions. X is greater than negative 5. X is greater than 1. X is greater than negative 1. Well, Since 1 is bigger than both of those, that's the one we want. I can write this, natural log of x plus 5 equals, I'm going to write this as a division, the natural log of x minus 1 over x plus 1. And like number 9, I have a natural log on both sides. They just cancel. So I get x plus 5 equals x minus 1 over x plus 1. Cross multiply, I get x plus 5 times x plus 1 equal to x minus 1. This is a hard one. Distribute x squared plus 5x, plus 6x, sorry, because 1x and 5x, plus 5 equals x minus 1. Bring it over. X squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0, and I get x plus 3, x plus 2 equals 0. So my possible choices are x equals negative 3, x equals negative 2. That's an ugly looking negative 2. Oh man, all that hard work, and guess what? None of them work. Why not? They're outside my domain restrictions. So these are both extraneous. Therefore, no solution. Do this one again. 18 and 19 are going to be a hard one, so try that one again. And try number 20 on your own, and we'll go over that one on Monday. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys then. Have fun. Bye.